6,000 years before Stonehenge and 7,000 years before the Great Pyramid, a massive stone temple already existed on Earth. It is the oldest known monumental structure in the world, a complex so ancient it completely shatters our understanding of human history. This is Göbekli Tepe, and for over 10,000 years, it was completely invisible, intentionally buried under a massive mountain of dirt. The mystery began in 1994 when a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt arrived in southeastern Turkey to investigate a strange hill. Local farmers had been finding perfectly square blocks of limestone in their fields for years, but no one realized what was hiding beneath. When Schmidt began to dig, he didn't find a small settlement. He uncovered massive T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons. These colossal pillars were arranged in perfect circles, and they were completely covered in terrifying, highly intricate carvings of deadly ancient predators. But the true shock came when scientists tested the age of the stone. The results were so impossible, many refused to believe them. Göbekli Tepe was built nearly 12,000 years ago, during the end of the last ice age, when humans were primitive hunter-gatherers. According to every history book, people in this era simply did not have the technology or the intelligence to build a sprawling temple. They possessed no metal tools, they had not invented the wheel, and they were completely unaware of basic agriculture or farming techniques yet. Somehow, these primitive nomads organized a massive workforce to carve and move giant stone blocks with absolute mathematical precision. Cutting and moving a single 20-ton limestone pillar would require hundreds of people working in perfect synchronization for months at a time. To achieve this, thousands of nomadic hunters had to stop wandering, gather together, and figure out how to feed a massive labor camp. But the most chilling mystery isn't how they built it. It is what they did to their masterpiece 1,000 years later. Around 8000 BC, the builders made a completely incomprehensible decision. They didn't just walk away from their masterpiece, they intentionally erased it. They spent generations carrying thousands of tons of dirt, gravel, and animal bones to carefully bury the entire complex under an artificial hill. This act of burial took almost as much physical labor as building the temple itself. They wanted to ensure no one ever found it, and their plan worked flawlessly for over 10,000 years. The most important monument in human history slept quietly beneath a grassy mound. But why hide it? What were they trying to protect, or perhaps, what were they desperately trying to warn us about? The answer might be written on the stones themselves, specifically on a massive, highly controversial monolith known as Pillar 43 Lasso, called the Vulture stone. This pillar is completely covered in a chaotic, terrifying arrangement of predatory birds, scorpions, and a headless human. For decades, archaeologists believe these carvings were just primitive art or spiritual totems used in ancient hunting rituals by nomadic tribes. But recently, a team of astrophysicists analyzed the exact placement of the animals. What they discovered sent shockwaves through the scientific community. They realized the vulture, the scorpion, and the wolf were not just random animals. They were actual star constellations in the ancient night sky. The builders of Göbekli Tepe were not primitive cavemen. They were highly advanced ancient astronomers, meticulously mapping the stars with impossible accuracy by calculating the exact rotation of the Earth. Scientists decoded the star map on the stone. It points to one specific date in history. The date was roughly 10,950 BC, and it marked the exact moment the world almost ended according to geological records. During this exact time period, Earth was struck by a devastating swarm of fragmented comet pieces. The Impact triggered a cataclysm known as the Younger Dryas A, 1,000-year ice age that wiped out massive animal species across the globe. The climate violently shifted, forests burned, megafauna like the woolly mammoth went extinct, and human populations were pushed to the brink of total annihilation. The Vulture stone wasn't just art. It was a terrifying memorial, a permanent warning carved in stone about the day the sky fell. The headless man carved at the bottom of the pillar represents the massive loss of human life during this sudden, apocalyptic event. If this theory is true, Gobekli Tepe was built by traumatized survivors, a massive, indestructible warning sign meant to survive the end of the world. But this creates an even bigger mystery. How did a dying, traumatized population suddenly find the energy and resources to build an architectural masterpiece? To build a temple of this magnitude, the ancient builders needed a stable food supply. Hunting and gathering was no longer enough, so they did something completely unprecedented in human history. Right here, in the shadow of the temple, they invented farming. DNA analysis of modern wheat proves that the exact genetic ancestor of all cultivated wheat originated just 20 miles from Göbekli Tepe. Historians believe that humans invented agriculture first, settled down in villages, and then eventually built religions and temples. But Göbekli Tepe proves the exact opposite. The desperate need to build this monument is what actually forced humanity to invent agriculture. Yet an unsettling mystery remains: where did these primitive survivors suddenly get the advanced mathematical knowledge to build such a masterpiece? Look closely at the very top of the massive pillars. Carved into the stone are three identical, highly specific geometric shapes. They look exactly like modern handbags, with semicircular handles, and shockingly, this exact same symbol appears in ancient cultures worldwide, thousands of miles away. The ancient Sumerians in Mesopotamia carved their powerful, winged gods holding this exact same mysterious bag across the ocean to Central America. And the ancient Olmec civilization carved their most powerful deities holding the identical handbag. How did completely disconnected ancient cultures, separated by massive oceans and thousands of years, carve the exact same unexplainable object? Alternative historians propose a mind-bending theory. The handbags represent a lost, highly advanced civilization that existed before the Ice Age when the comet struck. This advanced society was wiped out. Only a handful of highly intelligent survivors escaped the global destruction. These survivors traveled the globe, carrying seeds of civilization, mathematics, and agriculture in their bags, teaching the primitive hunter-gatherer tribes. This would explain how the exact same architectural knowledge and religious symbols appeared simultaneously across isolated corners of the world. Mainstream archaeologists reject this theory entirely, arguing the bags simply represent woven baskets used by the locals to carry wild food. Regardless of how they got the knowledge, by 8000 BC, the builders of the temple made a final, baffling decision. They spent decades burying the entire massive complex under thousands of tons of dirt, permanently wiping it from the earth. Did they bury it to protect it from another cosmic strike? Or was the entire temple meant to be a time capsule for us? Today, after decades of painstaking digging, archaeologists have only uncovered roughly 5% of the entire Göbekli Tepe complex. Ground-penetrating radar reveals that at least 15 more massive circular temples are still sleeping silently beneath the surrounding Turkish hills. Over 200 massive stone pillars remain buried in the dark. We have absolutely no idea what terrifying warnings they hold. Göbekli Tepe forces us to confront a chilling reality. The timeline of human history we are taught is completely wrong. We are not the first advanced society to walk this earth, And if the comet warnings are true, we might not be the last if the survivors of a global cataclysm built an indestructible monument to warn the future. What else did they leave behind? Because Göbekli Tepe isn't the only historical anomaly. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the freezing Ural Mountains. None of them made it out alive. Their tent was slashed open from the inside, and they fled barefoot into a blizzard when investigators finally found the bodies. The physical trauma was so horrifying and unexplainable. The government classified the case for decades. Click the video on your screen to uncover the terrifying, unsolved mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident, and stay curious.